Yo, what's going on everyone? Genesis here, coming at you with another Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. And today it is time. It is time we break into the G series. We are down to almost finishing up our second season at the time of making this video right now. And yeah, so we have put in a lot of time now with the new G units that are out. And I figured why not start with the meta itself. We're gonna start with our boyo the cross. So without further ado, let's get into it. It is time. It is time. We are coming to the end of the second season of G, and it is time that we get into those deck profiles. So I figured why not? Let's start with the meta. All right, let's start with the deck we've been running for most of the season. Our boy Dote. Oh, he got his Legion. I talked about this before if you guys have been following along. Yeah, so we got the cross boys. So we're gonna do the deck profile, same format as always. We're gonna save the G's till the end, because those are going to be more subject to RNG, and that we'll get into that though when we get there. But like always, we're going to start with our threes, and we're going to start with the man himself. Oh, the boy, Draconic Overlord of the cross. Oh man, this card's pretty good. It's pretty busted, pretty good. Yeah, so he legions with our boy Overlord, so you get both of their effects. This is going to be awesome. But yeah, so when you're a legion, you get it to add one of either himself or Dote to your hand from just legioning, which means you pretty much always get to use Dote's restand effect if you need it, or you always get another copy of the cross. You're pretty much going to be just mainly searching out for the cross, that way you can keep legioning each turn, because that's going to be the main focus of this deck. It's kind of stally deck. You know, it's not necessarily as much control, but it still filters, still draws quite a lot, and you're going to rely on that legioning to get you back into it and make sure you don't deck out, because you're going to get pretty thin. These, especially in those mirror matches, oh man, those games last a while. But yes, his secondary effect at the end of the battle, this unit attacked and it didn't hit. You can counterblast one, drop a copy of himself, and retire two of your opponent's rear guards. That's not necessarily the effect you're going to use a whole lot. That's not really why you're running them here. You're mainly using them so you can legion. Add a copy of himself, which is probably what you're going to do 9 times out of 10, unless you really need to get that copy of Dote to get to restand, fill your hand up. We've done that a couple of times, you know, so that is something we will be doing. But yeah, mainly just gonna be searching for himself. Next, we're running 4 copies of the Legion Mate Dote, of course. So you know, is it stack hits, counterblast 2, persona blast, stand, draw 2 cards. You guys have seen this card way back in like the first season, right? But you guys remember we ran Dote for quite a long time here, quite a long time, yeah. But yeah, so you can use this on rear guards, get the restand off that. Then you can just get some free draws and then swing into the Vanguard that way. A lot of the time that's probably what you're going to end up doing, putting your triggers on rear guards to allow them to hit and try to get through as well. The deck is a bit counterblast heavy, but that's why we got so much filter. We'll get into that as well. And then we're running 1 copy of Draconic Overlord the Great. Now originally we were running 1 Blade Master, but after a while I just found it to be kind of a dead card, even with the striding, because you're not going to stride a whole lot with it. You're just going to stride in certain situations, right? Like where you don't have enough cards in your drop just yet, so you need to stride, you know, get a card in there, fill up the drop zone. But yeah, so with Blade Master it was kind of a niche, but Overlord fits exactly what you're looking for. So we are running his Legion Mate Neo Flame. We do got 4 of that boyo in here. We'll get to him in a bit. But yeah, so I figured why not run him as well. He does fit what we're trying to do. So again, Legion, at the end of the unit, this battle is attacked to rear guard. You get to counterblast 1, discard 2 cards, stand and redraw. So it's the exact same thing we're doing with Dote, the exact same thing we're doing with Cross, right? Trying to get the restands and draw. So he's perfect for the deck. And then when he does hit, you can retire a rear guard with the same name as one of your Vanguards. So himself for Neo Flame, and you get to retire a rear guard. Not really going to use that effect too much. Your main focus is going to be on getting the Cross and then legioning it to Dote every turn. And then you're going to use Great more so as either stride fodder, or you're going to use it at the end of the game when you don't have any counterblasts left, because your restand with Dote's going to be for 2 and your Great is only for a 1, right? So you can squeeze that in if, say, you haven't got a lot of counterblasts. And then we're running 4 copies of the new heal trigger. The new heal guards here are really good, allow you to keep yourself from being rushed down. Pretty much everybody's running them, so you gotta think about that now when you start attacking as well. But yeah, 4 copies, of course, you gotta run your heals, right? So next we'll get into the 2s. Of course, we'll just go over Neoflame. We already went over the Great, so this is going to be the Legion mate for him. You guys, I feel that a lot of people should have the Great and Neoflame by this point, since they were both rank awards if you've been playing for a while. So I feel it's okay to include them in the deck, you know what I mean? But yeah, so when this unit is placed on rearguard, he gets the following effect: that when a rearguard in the same column as himself is retired, so you got to kill the thing in the front. It doesn't necessarily have to be him, but it needs to just die somehow, some way. You get to counterblast 1, and you get to kill a rearguard in the back row. So he's good for getting rid of like the blaster supports, grade 1s, annoying little units like that. But you're not really going to use this effect too much, since you are going to want to save them for Dote. So do keep that in mind a bit when you're doing your little calculations up for your turn, right? And then we're running 3 copies of Stricken. Yeah. Still running Stricken, because the chance to restand with Dote with a 5k and a crit, you know, if you Legion, say play the cross, you get this, you Legion, you get your Dote copy in, you're sitting at what was it there, 20, 25, 27, so yeah, so you get the hit. As long as they don't get a trigger, you get to restand with that extra critical as well, so you can potentially get game on turn 3 or so. Yeah, that's why we're running Stricken. Sometimes it can be dead, but most of the time it is going to pay off. Plus a nice 10k, and you want that. Next, we're still running 4 copies of Bellicosity, help deal with the counterblast costs in the deck, since you will be running Dotes into rearguards a lot of the time. To get your restand, that will allow Bellicosity to hit the Vanguard and get at least 1 counter flip back up to help deal with that cost. So 4 copies, of course. And then I'm choosing to run 2 copies of Berserk Dragon. Now, this is subject to change depending on your playstyle or so. I find I'm either using a lot of counterblasts to get retires or to restands, or I'm gonna want them for Berserker because I have so many available, because we run so many ways to counter flip in this deck right now. You can switch these out for Burning Horns here. Let's see if we can find homeboy. Wow. Yeah, there he is. Okay, you can substitute him from Burning Horns, which are the Overlord Vanguard 12k attacker. Since everything in the deck we're running is Overlord, he'll always have his effect available for you. Even when you stride, they get to keep the name, so whatever you stride into will still be an Overlord as well, so you still get the effect. But I prefer the Berserk Dragons just for the extra retire. Sometimes we go into Mustafa, and then you go into a Berserk Dragon. That's a double retire right there, so you can swing 3 into Vanguard. That's something that we've done a couple of times. But yeah, if you find you want to save your counterblast, or you don't really find the Berserk to be to your style, you can definitely switch it out for a Burning Horn. That's definitely going to be your best bet. All right, so next we're going to go over the grade 1s. We'll start with the old classic. We're going to go 2 Gojos. We had to cut back to make room for extra flippers and the new stride enablers and that, so we still want Gojo for filter, and this is ideally our turn 1 ride if we're going first. But yeah, just standard rest the unit, discard a card from your hand, drop draw. You know, we've been running this since season 1. One of the better grade 1s you can get, right? It'll help fill up the drop zone for your legions, which is a big deal. Since if you don't get that filled up, you're not going to get the cross, and it's kind of going to slow you down. So he helps out, because, you know, he can help get rid of those early heals as well. Next we're running Grom. Yeah, this came out with the new G here. When this unit's plays Soul Blast 2 and Countercharge 2, we're running 3 copies of our Boyo here. I found 4 was a bit too much. And it helped cut our columns down a bit. So like we weren't able to make good numbers because where Grom is a 5k, it is hard to hit some more of those magic numbers, which is where you may find the Burning Horns to be a bit better. But yeah, so we had to come back We had to come back a little bit to make room for some more 7Ks. But yeah, essentially this is going to be your play every time you go to re-ride with your cross, because you're going to be doing that a lot. You're going to re-ride with cross. You're going to play your Grom to soul blast out your Dote and your cross so that are in your soul, legion them back into the deck, search them back out with cross, and rinse repeat every single turn. And you're just going to do that to stall out the game. So Grom's a really important card for the deck. He helps keep those counterblasts more manageable, but his low power can be a bit of a problem. So generally you want to put him behind the Vanguard, where that boost may not be necessary as much. But yeah, 4 was just a bit too much, so we're running 3 of the boy. Next, we're running 4 copies of Protect Orb Dragon, which is the new Sentinel that came out. With these, if you got one in your drop zone and you PG, you get to countercharge 1, which is really good for keeping up your counterblast as well. Pretty much the main PG you're going to be wanting to run this season as well. Next, we're running 3 copies of Lava Flow, which is the new Stride Enabler grade 1. When you go to discard the card for a Stride, it gets +2 grade, making it a grade 3. So pretty much we're just running in, using it as a booster and occasionally dropping for a Stride. You're not going to stride a whole lot in this deck. You will do it if, say, you need to fill up your drop zone like we mentioned before. Which is where Lava Flow will come in, because sometimes you don't necessarily want to discard your extra copy of the cross or your extra copy of Dote, because you're going to want to use those next turn. So that's where Lava Flow comes in, and it helps make up some extra columns, since we do need some boosters. And then we're running 1 copy of Energy Flame. Again, this is a substitute for the 1 Grom that we're missing that help with our counter charges. This is really just so you can put it down, you can get some sort of attack, and then you can retire, because there is a couple of strides that we've got that do have an on-hit effect, and then you can use that to countercharge. You can also use this with Mustafu and just get extra charges that way. This combined with the Berserk Dragon just makes that free. And then this where he just has to go into the soul, it helps save, because sometimes you don't always have the soul blast available, you know, or you may, you know, I want to save my Grom for the next turn because you're gonna re-ride and then you're gonna want a soul blast, but you need the counter charges to do something off. So I find that's where Energy Flame comes in to add a little more options sometimes. So we're running the 1 of there, and then of course we gotta run Conroe. He's the only starter you wanna use. +1, retire the unit, search for a grade 1. He's the best starter and the only starter you need to use. It's crazy, boys, right? We would have seen that coming. Of course, we're running 9 draws, 4 heals, like always. And then yeah, now we're gonna look at the G units. This is the part where it's gonna change a little for everybody depending on what we get. So I am currently running 2 copies of Mustafu because we managed to pull them. So counterblast 1, turn to face up G unit, face up in your G zone, and then you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. And then for every copy of Mustafa that's face up, when you get to pick a unit, and then if it hits, you get an extra counter flip. And see the 2 copies, right? If you got more, I've definitely run it. I think Mustafa's probably good at 3. You know, I think 4 would be a bit too much. I think you want to save that slot for like Root Flare and that. But we're running the 2. This is what I mean. You can use Mustafu, proc off your energy flames and that to get those counter blasts. But this is pretty much if your hand might be a bit full, you don't want to restand for the turn, but you got some extra counter blast up. You can use this, retire one of your opponent's rear guards, get an extra pop in there, and the stride is good because it'll help fill up your drop zone, right? Next, we're running 2 copies of Root Flare. I would run 4 copies if we had it, but we don't. We only got 2 right now, guys. Unfortunately, he only works at 2. So if you do have him, you can put him in just to have him, but he's not going to work. So you have to Persona Blast, so Counter Blast, so I'll spit it eventually. 1 Persona Blast himself, so you can stride him, and then you'll flip 1 copy of himself in your G zone up, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and then retire all units in that column. This will help you get rid of units with resist or any sort of protections. You just select the units in the back row. So of course Gear Chronicle has that grade 2 with resist. You'll see there's a lot of new units with protections on them now. This will help you get through those. If you manage to pull 2, awesome, run it. Definitely a great card. If you don't, Maybe keep trying. You can try the personals to get another copy, but it is really good if you do got them. If not, it's you'll make it. You'll be okay. Next, we're gonna run 3 copies. Muhammad. I would say just run however many copies that you get. That's going to be the main thing about the G's. Really just run however many copies you've got. If you got 1, run 1. If you got 3, you run 3, right? Like I said, we've got a couple of units that on hit can retire. Muhammad's it. If you attack hits, you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. You can combo that with energy flow to get a free 2 counter charges up. But this will allow you to deal with units in your opponent's back row that they might have, like the blaster supports. Gear Chrono has got that new damage flipper Steam Knight that you're going to want to get rid of, and that's where Muhammad can come in. Next, we're running 1 copy of Atmos. This is just Mustafa fodder. That's the only real reason we're running it. If you do got to go into a stride and it's not going to be a Roof Flare and it's not going to be Mustafa, you're pretty much going to be going into Muhammad. So that's where Amos comes in here. It's just fodder so that we can get the Mustafa flip. So the first time you stride into Mustafa, the first G unit you're going to flip is going to be Atmos. This is going to put you at G break 2. Meaning that you can just go into Roof Flare, no trouble right away. But this will also allow you to use your second Mustafa, and by flipping up a Muhammad, you can then let your second Mustafa get a counter charge off of it hits. So hence the Atmos, right? But yeah, that's gonna be the deck. Overall, I think the deck's been performing really well. You do got to be careful in the mirror matches where you'll be going down to the itty bitty boys. I'm serious, it's crazy. Hence why we're running the extra Legion and that over Blade Master and stuff like that. But yeah, overall I think the deck's been doing really awesome. If you guys have been questioning it, definitely try it out. I know Gear Chrono got released, so a lot of people may have been more pulled towards that this season. But yeah, overall, great deck. I'm gonna let the showcase play out now so you guys can see the deck in action. Thank you so much if you made it this far, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.